BJP releases the first list of 27 candidates for Bihar Assembly elections after formalizing the seat-sharing arrangement with JDU. The BJP will contest on 121 seats, JDU on 115 and HAM on 7 seats of the 243 total seats. BJP, JDU in a joint media interaction say that will seek people's support on developmental record. India, Japan, US and Australia agreed to step up coordination in Indo-Pacific to uphold the rules-based international order. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar underscores the collective visions of the Quad on maintaining free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Prime Minister Narendra Modi pens a letter on the occasion of Wildlife Week celebration. Says Wildlife Week is an ideal occasion to reaffirm India's commitment towards conservation of wildlife and harmonious coexistence of all living beings. Prime Minister Narendra Modi enters into the 20th year as the elected head of a government at the centre and state. On October 7, 2001, he was sworn in as Chief Minister of Gujarat. BJP President JP Nadda lauds the efficient, effective and reformist governance of Prime Minister Modi both at the state level and the national level. In French Open, Diego Schwartzman stuns third seed Dominic Thiem in 5-set, 5-hour marathon thriller. Clay court king Nadal also enters in the semi-finals. In women's single, Argentine Nadia Podoroska and Polish teenager Iga Swiatek book berth in the semi-finals. Good morning, you're watching DD News and I'm Preeti presenting the bulletin. In the next half an hour, we'll get to an account of everything that's been making it to the headlines. Our top story first. After the announcement of the pact for seat sharing with JDU for the upcoming Bihar Assembly polls, BJP has announced its first list of 27 candidates. All the candidates are for those seats where elections are to be held in the first phase. Shreyasi Singh, who had recently joined the party, finds a place in the first list. She has been fielded from Jamui. And political heat went up a notch in election-bound Bihar with the ruling NDA finalizing its seat-sharing formula. Now, according to the pact, JDU will fight in 122 of the 243 seats, while the BJP will contest on 121. The JDU will accommodate Jitan Ram Manjhi's Hindustani Awam Morcha Secular by giving it 7 seats from its quota, while the BJP will accommodate the new NDA entrant Mukesh Sahni's Vikashsheel Insan Party or the VIP. The BJP has also made it clear that Nitish Kumar will remain NDA's chief ministerial candidate irrespective of the seats each coalition partner wins.
All the apprehensions in political circles of Patna about the assembly elections being a drab show in the shadow of Corona went for a spin after the big shake-up due to seat allotments between the various potential ally partners. Bihar elections promises to be a humdinger as always. After the Grand Alliance, NDA has also announced the seat-sharing arrangements. Led by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, senior leaders of NDA addressed the media. JDU will fight 122 seats, while BJP will have candidates on 121 seats. Both the parties will accommodate allies from within their quota. JDU will give 7 seats to HAM and BJP will allot a few seats to Mukesh Sahni-led Vikashsheel Insan Party.
जनता दल यू है, उसके जिम्मे 122 सीटें दी गई हैं और उसी के अंतर्गत हम पार्टी को, जीतन राम मांझी जी की पार्टी को, उसी के अंतर्गत हम लोगों ने 7 सीटें दी। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में 121 सीटें हैं और उसी के अंतर्गत इन लोगों की बातचीत जो इन्होंने बताया कि अंतिम चरण है विकासशील इंसान पार्टी के साथ, उसी के अंतर्गत उनको सीटें देंगी।
BJP has once again made it clear that the chief minister would be Nitish Kumar, notwithstanding the numbers any party gets.
बिहार के अंदर एनडीए में वही रहेगा जो नीतीश जी को बिहार एनडीए का नेता स्वीकार करेगा। और इस चुनाव में भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने नीतीश कुमार जी को मुख्यमंत्री का उम्मीदवार घोषित किया है। कल सरकार निश्चित बनेगी तो मुख्यमंत्री भी नीतीश कुमार होंगे। तो इसलिए नीतीश कुमार को जो अपना नेता स्वीकार करके काम करेगा वही एनडीए के अंदर, बिहार के अंदर हिस्सा होगा। बीजेपी, जेडीयू और साथ में वीआईपी पार्टी और हम पार्टी, ये 4 दलों का गठबंधन है।
NDA has expanded its umbrella. Jiten Ram Manjhi has walked into the NDA fold earlier. Now, Vikashsheel Insan Party is also in the alliance. The problems of Grand Alliance are not getting better. The press conference has cleared all doubts about the NDA alliance and its unity. BJP has made it clear that Nitish will be the chief ministerial face of the alliance, putting to rest all doubts about the leadership issue. The stage is set and all eyes will be on how the Grand Alliance stands up to the challenge. With Patna Bureau, Rajesh Raj's report, DD India.
And External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne on the sidelines of the 2-day Quad meeting in Tokyo. The External Affairs Minister said that the two leaders reviewed the progress in bilateral ties after the virtual summit between both the Prime Ministers. They also discussed expanding cooperation in global affairs and regional issues. The External Affairs Minister added that two sides will work together more closely in multilateral forums. India, US, Japan and Australia have agreed to set up coordination in the Indo-Pacific as China's assertiveness grows from the South China Sea to the Himalayas. At the second Quad Foreign Ministerial meeting held in person in the Japanese capital Tokyo, the foreign ministers of the 4 like-minded democracies stressed on the strengthening of a free, open and rules-based international order. External Affairs Minister will be meeting Ms. Marise Payne, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Australia, and the Foreign Minister of Japan, Mr. Toshimitsu Motegi, today.
In the backdrop of corona pandemic, one of the most important and high-level meeting in the region took place in Tokyo on Tuesday. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar participated in the second India, Australia, Japan, USA ministerial meeting, where he met his US counterpart Mike Pompeo, Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne, and Japan's Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi. Underlining the significance of the meeting, External Affairs Minister, while addressing the Quad consultation, said that the world is significantly different today than what it was last year when the first Quad ministerial level meeting took place in New York on the sidelines of UN General Assembly meetings. Jaishankar also underscored the collective vision of the Quad on maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific.
As vibrant and pluralistic democracies with shared values, our nations have affirmed collectively the importance of maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific. We remain committed to upholding the rules-based international order underpinned by the rule of law, transparency, freedom of navigation in international seas, and respect for territorial integrity and sovereignty and peaceful resolution of disputes. Our objective remains advancing the security and the economic interests of all countries having legitimate and vital interests in the region.
The Quad group has gained significant support in the region, especially among the countries who have been concerned with the growing clout of China, but did not have enough means and strength to counter its incursive policies in the region. The grouping has also focused on important issues such as connectivity and infrastructure development, security including counter-terrorism, cyber and maritime security, and the stability and prosperity in the region. In a tweet, External Affairs Minister mentioned about the start of his Tokyo visit with a bilateral meeting with the US Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. Both of them talked about progress of India-US partnership in various fields. The two sides also discussed to work together for stability and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. Before the Quad meeting began, External Affairs Minister along with other Quad foreign ministers also called on newly appointed Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga and discussed about the bilateral and global dimensions of the special partnership. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is on a 2-day visit where he is also expected to hold bilateral consultation with all his counterparts from Quad nations. The focus of the meetings will be the post-COVID international order and the need for a coordinated response to the various challenges emerging from the pandemic. With Bureau Inputs, Abhishek Jha's report, DD India.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has written a letter on the occasion of Wildlife Week celebration, where he exalted the work done by India in the field of wildlife conservation. In his letter, he wrote that Wildlife Week, which coincides with Mahatma Gandhi's birth anniversary, is an ideal occasion to reaffirm India's commitment towards conservation of wildlife and harmonious coexistence of all living beings. He wrote that wildlife conservation is ingrained in our ethos and has always been an integral part of our tradition and culture. Prime Minister Modi also lauded the hard work done in the field of wildlife conservation through Project Tiger and Project Elephant, and now making efforts to save other endangered species through various other projects such as Project Lion and Project Dolphin. Prime Minister Modi also emphasized the need for plastic waste management and said that India's resolve to reduce single-use plastic and microplastic pollution for sustainable development is indeed important. India's total recoveries have crossed 56.6 lakh. Now, this has boosted the national recovery rate to 84.7%. In a tweet, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare said that this sustained high figure is fueled by 17 states and union territories reporting recovery rate higher than the national average. It added that this high rate of recoveries has positioned India as the top country globally with the maximum number of recovered cases. Let's get you a quick update on the total tests conducted so far. Now, according to the Indian Council of Medical Research, 11,99,857 samples were tested for COVID-19 yesterday, which means a total of 8,22,71,654 samples have been tested in the country so far. And after this, a quick look at at how some states are performing. Maharashtra continues to remain the worst affected state due to coronavirus in the country. 12,258 new cases were reported in the state yesterday, while 17,141 patients were cured and discharged. 370 COVID-19 deaths were also reported in the past 24 hours. Currently, there are 2,47,023 active cases in Maharashtra. Talking of Karnataka, 9,993 new cases were reported in the state yesterday. 10,228 patients were discharged, while 91 patients died due to COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. In Tamil Nadu, 5,017 persons tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, which means that some patients were discharged also. 5,548 patients were discharged and 71 patients lost their lives in the past 24 hours. The national capital recorded 2,676 fresh cases yesterday. 39 new fatalities were recorded in the past 24 hours, and the active cases in Delhi stand at 22,720. And talking of other news now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has entered his 20th year in a public office today without a break, setting a milestone in the Indian political history. BJP National President J.P. Nadda has written an article in an English newspaper on this achievement.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi ઈશ્વરના નામે સોગંદ લઉં છું કાયદાથી સ્થાપિત ભારતના સંવિધાન પ્રત્યે હું સાચી શ્રદ્ધા અને નિષ્ઠા ધરાવીશ. मैं संघ के प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक और शुद्ध अंतःकरण से निर्वहन करूंगा.
In the beginning of this article, J.P. Nadda said that it was on October 7th in the year 2001 when Narendra Modi was sworn in as Chief Minister of Gujarat for the first time. Since then, he has never lost an election as the head of a government. It speaks volumes about his ability to win the people's confidence over and over again in greater magnitude every time. Right from his days as Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi took electricity to every Gujarati village and made it a power surplus state. As the Prime Minister, he took electricity to every village and every household. Besides, Prime Minister Narendra Modi started the vibrant Gujarat Investor Summit in 2003, becoming well known globally among the investors. Similarly, as Prime Minister, he ensured record FDI inflows. Under the Gujarat model, the state saw bumper growth in agriculture despite having semi-arid regions and rapid growth in infrastructure. He also ensured freedom for farmers after decades as Prime Minister, and India's infrastructure, which has already grown massively under his leadership, is poised to grow even more. Prime Minister Modi's emphasis upon saving the girl child and educating her through Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao has been widely appreciated. This was an extension of his Kanya Kelavani program in Gujarat for girl child education. The BJP president in his article also said that despite inheriting an administration known for policy paralysis, Narendra Modi set specific targets for each of his flagship schemes, be it sanitation, rural electrification, housing for all, potable water for all, or doubling farmers' incomes. He made cleanliness a mass movement. Apart from that, in a nation where prevalent political culture was about giving more and more subsidies, he inspired people to give up their subsidies so that the poor could get free gas connections. BJP President JP Nadda has also written that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, being a Gujarati, represents a constituency from Uttar Pradesh where he does not pander to any partisan caste, community, class or regional considerations. His appeal transcends these divisions and unites people across the nation towards one purpose, that is India's greatness. At the end of the article, JP Nadda termed Narendra Modi as both a visionary and a workhorse. He has the necessary mindset to come up with a grand vision as well as the precision and persistence to handle the dryness of quotidian tasks that act as steps to achieve this vision. And today is the 28th anniversary of Rapid Action Force. On this day in 1992, the force fully became operational to deal with riots, rescue and relief and other operations in the country. Home Minister Amit Shah tweeted to extend his greetings to the force on this occasion. He said, and I quote him, "Greetings to RAF personnel and their families on their 28th anniversary. RAF has distinguished itself in dealing with the challenges relating to law and order. Time and again, their commitment in several humanitarian works and UN peacekeeping missions has made India proud." In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists have been gunned down in an encounter with security forces in the Sugan area of Shopian district. Search operation is still underway. An encounter broke out between security forces and terrorists yesterday at Sugan village of Zainapura belt in South Kashmir's Shopian. A police official said that after an input to Jammu and Kashmir police about the presence of terrorists in the area, a joint search operation was launched by Shopian police, 44 Rashtra Rifles and Central Reserve Police Force. Meanwhile, as a precautionary measure, internet services have been snapped in Shopian. A 3-member special investigation team, which was set up to probe the alleged gang rape of a 19-year-old Dalit woman, was scheduled to submit its report today, but the government has extended the deadline by 10 more days. The decision to extend the deadline was taken following the orders of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Based on the preliminary finding of the SIT, the Yogi Adityanath government suspended Hathras SP and 4 other police officers for their handling of the case. The SIT, headed by Uttar Pradesh Home Secretary Bhagwan Swarup, also recommended lie detector tests for all those who are involved, including the family members of the victim. Riya Chakravarti and her brother Shauvik's judicial custody has been extended till October 20th by the special NDPS court. Riya and Shauvik had approached the High Court for bail and the order is expected to come today. The High Court has reserved the order. If the court approves bail, then Riya and Shauvik will be let off. Meanwhile, in another development, Bombay High Court has adjourned the hearing of the plea filed by late Bollywood actor Sushant Singh Rajput's sisters Shweta and Meetu to quash the FIR lodged against them by Mumbai police based on the complaint lodged by Riya Chakravarti. The court adjourned the hearing till October 13th after the bench said that there is no urgency. The Indian Air Force conducted a full dress rehearsal on Tuesday, including a fly-past by its aircraft at its Hindon base in Ghaziabad for the 88th Indian Air Force Day on 8th of October. The Indian Air Force was officially established on 8th of October 1932. The newly inducted Rafale fighter jet was the center of the attraction at the dress rehearsal. In a major boost to India's air capability, 5 Rafale fighter jets were formally inducted into the Indian Air Force on 10th of September. We get you more in this report.
After being inducted into the Indian Air Force in Ambala, Rafale fighter jets will once again demonstrate their strength on the occasion of Air Force Day on 8th October. A full dress rehearsal was conducted by the Indian Air Force on Tuesday at the Air Force Hindon Air Force Base just before the Air Force Day. India will once again showcase its air power at the annual Indian Air Force Day. This year will be very special as the newly inducted Rafale fighter aircraft will feature in the Indian Air Force Day parade. The Air Force will display its combat jets, helicopters and transport aircraft. The Rafale fighter jets, Tejas LCA, Mirage 2000, MiG-29, Sukhoi 30 aircraft and Jaguar will fly in various formations during the show.
Total of 19 fighters, 19 helicopters, 7 transport, 9 Surya Kiran aerobatic display aircraft, 2 vintage aircraft, making it a total of 56 aircraft which would participate in this year's flypast. In addition to that, there are 11 aircraft which are for the static display and 2 air defense systems, that is the Rohini and the Akash.
With a view to the COVID-19 pandemic, general public will not be allowed to attend the Air Force Day function. The Surya Kiran aerobatic team and Sarang aerobatic team will also dazzle the skies with their fly past. Sudhir Yadav's report, DD India.
As this year marks Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi's 151st birth anniversary, we spend some time with the memories of Gandhiji and pay our tribute to the great icon of the country and the world. Mahatma Gandhi's various visits to Kashi were significant in a way to inspire people. In 1921, Mahatma Gandhi inaugurated the Kashi Vidyapeeth in Varanasi, and later in 1936, Bharat Mata Temple was also founded with Gandhiji's inspiration. Take a look.
"100 years ago, Mahatma Gandhi laid the foundation stone of Kashi Vidyapeeth to strengthen the freedom movement. Kashi Vidyapeeth is now known as Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth. Today, this university is a leading educational institution of the country, whose alumni include erstwhile Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri and great freedom fighter Chandrasekhar Azad. Gandhiji used to stay in the same room of Vidyapeeth whenever he visited Kashi. This room was named as Bapu Room. In this room, Bapu's spinning wheel and many things related to him are kept as his memories. Many handwritten letters of Bapu and pictures are kept in this room.
महात्मा गांधी जी के बचपन से लेकर के और अंतिम यात्रा तक की चित्र प्रदर्शनी भी एक दिखाई गई है, जिससे कि आने वाले व्यक्ति को गांधी जी का पूरा जीवन दर्शन उस दर्शक दीर्घा में भी हो जाए, जिससे कि उसको एक सामान्य ज्ञान बढ़े.
In 1936, with Mahatma Gandhi's inspiration, Rashtra Ratna Shiv Prasad Gupta founded the Bharat Mata Temple in Varanasi. Gandhiji inaugurated the Bharat Mata Temple, which later became a source of national inspiration. The temple is built on the campus of Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth.
छोटे छोटे पत्थर के टुकड़ों से को जोड़ करके उस मंदिर के गर्भगृह का निर्माण हुआ, और उस मंदिर को देखने के लिए 2 शैली है. एक, आप मंदिर को ऊपर से देख सकते हैं, जहां भारत माता का नक्शा नजर आएगा, कितना भाग समुद्र तल से जुड़ा हुआ है वह आएगा. एक उसका भूमिगत लेवल है जो नक्शे के बराबर है, वहां खड़े हो जाएंगे तो आपको दिखाई पड़ेगा कि हिमालय की ऊंचाई कितनी है, समुद्र तल की गहराई कितनी है, और आपको लगेगा कि जैसे हम समुद्र तल पर खड़े हैं और वहां से विराट और ऊंचाई का हिमालय नजर आ रहा है.
Either it's Bapu's room or Bharat Mata Temple, both are tourist places for the youth and tourists. Besides, they are also great means to understand the ideologies of Mahatma Gandhi and to know more about India. Bureau Report, DD India.
And from here, we'll get you international updates. Now, 3 scientists bagged this year's Nobel Prize in Physics for advancing our understanding of the black holes. Half the honor goes to Britain, Roger Penrose, for discovering that black hole formation is a robust prediction of the general theory of relativity. And German Reinhard Genzel with American Andrea Ghez gets the second half of the prize for discovering a supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy. A quick global update on the COVID-19 situation now. The death toll across the world has surpassed the 10 lakh mark. As per the latest update, 10.53 lakh people have died worldwide due to COVID-19, while over 3.6 crore people have been affected by COVID-19. As many as 2.71 crore people have recovered from the virus so far. The United States continues to top the global tally, being the worst hit country by the pandemic so far. The US has the highest number of cases with over 77.17 lakh infected and more than 2.15 lakh deaths due to the virus. In terms of death toll, Brazil stands in second on the tally with over 1.47 lakh deaths. There are more than 49.7 lakh cases of COVID-19 in Brazil. Let's get to sports updates now. In the French Open men's singles, 12-time champion Rafael Nadal cruised into the semi-final, defeating young Yannick Sinner by 7-6, 6-4 and 6-1. He will now face Diego Schwartzman in the semi-final. Also, Argentine 12th seed Diego Schwartzman defeated US Open champion and 3rd seed Dominic Thiem in a 5-hour epic on Tuesday to reach the Roland Garros semi-finals, his first ever Grand Slam last 4 appearance. The 28-year-old Schwartzman triumphed 7-6, 5-7, 6-7, 7-6 and 6-2. Argentine Nadia Podoroska became the first qualifier to reach the French Open semi-finals in the women's singles draw when she downed Ukrainian 3rd seed Elena Svitolina for 6-2, 6-4 on Tuesday. French prosecutors have said on Tuesday that they have opened an investigation into alleged match fixing in a French Open women's doubles encounter. The probe concerns the first-round match on September 30th between Romanian pair Andrea Mito and Patricia Mariatek and Yana Sizikova of Russia playing with US player Madison Brengel, according to French sports daily L'Equipe and German newspaper Die Welt. And on that note, we'll end this bulletin here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.